right, it is now December of 2025, and let's look at all the eyeshadows that I've gone through this year. This is my first ever eyeshadow ranking video. I'm doing it a little bit differently than I see a lot of other people. A lot of other people just go, like they rank them all in order. I'm doing it more in categories. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you like it. It's hard to choose from our babies. I'm going to start with the two palettes that I have not tested enough to really give them a proper ranking because I just got them. Like I got these in Black Friday. These are two of the palettes from Blend Bunny, the Ellis palette. So this is Ellis 2 Garden of Stars, the all shimmer palette, and this is an all matte palette that's this is more like warm neutral, a little bit more neutral browns. This is a warm roe leaning kind of toward the red side. This is more cool tone dusty mauve. This is a very flexible palette that I'm really excited to use. These are my first Blend Bunny purchases, and I have swatched these and I'm just in awe. One thing is that in pan it can be a little misleading, so I have to remember, like, this shows up a lot like Fembot on my arm, whereas in pan it looks like a pretty intense purpley shade with a bit of blue in it. So there's a little bit of a difference between how they actually show up on a swatch and what they look like in pan, so I just have to remember that. Anyway, so these I'm really excited about. I just haven't used them enough to really have final thoughts on them. Now let's go to a couple of palettes that I have not given enough love to. In last place is this Peach Out palette by ColourPop. So this year was my first time trying ColourPop, and I swatched a few in store and I was like, these are amazing, these shimmers are amazing, I need them in my life. And I bought them and got them home, and they didn't swatch anything like they did in the store. So ColourPop lovers out there, help me out. Do you have to do something? Do you have to like break through the first few layers or something before they actually perform well? I even tried like scratching the top of a couple of these to see if I could get through. It didn't really help. So I think I need to give these another chance. I really like the colors of the mattes in here. I just haven't loved the shimmers. So maybe if I just think of this as like a peach matte palette, I'll be happier. This one reason it's so nice is the color story. It has the greens, but it has this brown, which is so important. Like I can't wear some of the cool tone shadows without like a brown in my crease or blending it out that way. Otherwise I look like I have a black eye essentially. So I love the color story. I just haven't been able to really love the palette, but I've only used it like twice because I was so shocked when the shimmers were just like nothing like they were in the stores. So I don't know, let me know. And then the next one is great quality, but I just haven't used it as much. So I really like the mattes. They are pretty vibrant. This is the Nomad Fête de Provence palette. It was one of their 10-year anniversary palettes. I really like Nomad. It's one of my favorite indie brands for eyeshadow. All the mattes are great. This one is a little like Fembot, but it has a very large particle size, which I don't particularly enjoy. And that larger particle size has stopped me from kind of investigating more. Like I think this is a really neat shimmer shade. I want to try it more. I don't really do yellows, but this looks like an amazing purple roe, and this looks like it could be great, a little bit of blue without going too much in blue. But especially for these two rows, I want to use this palette more. I just haven't fallen in love with it like I thought I would, and part of that is because my other palettes from Nomad are just so amazing that I just want to reach for those instead. So who knows, maybe this spring or something. I don't really do seasonal makeup, but maybe there will come a time when I really want to do this. I just haven't been reaching for it. Let's go for my favorite blues. So this is Pat McGrath Mothership 1, and And you might say, there's only one blue. Why is this a blue palette? This is such a blue palette, and I wish I knew that before buying it. Because there's, like, this is a blue iridescent. This is also not exactly an iridescent, but it has a lot of blue in it. So if you use any of these, with these, it turns the look blue. Like, this is this amazing, subtle, kind of dusty lavender shade. It's a satin, and I'd love to be able to top it off with something sparkly to give it impact, but as soon as you use one of these, it turns this shade blue. So like every look gets turned blue except this one, which is kind of this cooler gold, which is nice. And it's nice because if you use the black and put this over it, you can turn it into an olive. So you can get an olive look out of this palette, but like everything else is blue, even if you don't want it to be. And it's fine to rock the blue eyeshadow look, but it's just not what I want all the time. And so these are much more subtle, like they have amazing colors, like the tones of the colors are amazing, but the satins especially are nothing to write home about. And so I kind of want to top it with something shimmery. And the whole reason for these palettes really is these amazing baked shades. And I just did not expect that all of these are essentially blue when you get them on the lid, all three of these. So I like this palette. I'm glad I have it. This was this is the only shade that when I swatched it in store, it stopped me in its tracks. It hasn't had that much impact at home, which makes me wonder, do I really need to kind of use it and break through that first layer before I get more impact from this? But yeah, I haven't used this as much. And part of the reason is, so I like this, but this 9-pan palette from Charlotte Tilbury, the Eye Trends palettes. Yes, it doesn't have a mirror. No, I don't care. This is the best blue palette ever. If I want a blue look, I'm going with this. If I want an eyeliner, and instead of just being like black or brown, I kind of want a little bit of a blue, I'll go into this shade. It's amazing as a liner. And these three shades are satins, but they are satins on crack or something. They are so good, so pretty. They're the best satins in my entire collection. This is like a blinding white, and the tones of these blues are so pretty. This looks like it should be a scary color. It's not. You can do this all over the lid and then put some satins on top of it, and it's fine. It's amazing. I find myself not using these two just because these are so pretty that like I can't help myself from dipping into these. And then this is the Diamond Dimension shade that is very intensely sparkly, and you can just put a little bit of this on top of any look to really amp it up. So this is a phenomenal palette. It really is. I love it. I can't wait for more Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes in the next year. This is really high quality. Like, these satins are amazing. The mattes are amazing. This Diamond Dimension isn't just so sparkly. It's so sparkly, and you can use it with or without glitter glue, which is nice. I can't say too much about these two, which I know are more metallic shades compared to these satins, but it's just because these end up being so pretty, I can't make myself use them. But this is such a good palette if you want some blues, or even if you're like scared of blue, but you think you might want to try a little bit. These colors, especially these four, are so perfect for that. They're very flattering. Let's talk about the best brown matte eyeshadows. Okay. So I can't tell you how often I dig into an eyeshadow palette just for brown mattes. And so this, the Natasha Denona Golden palette, this might be one of my most used palettes of this last year. I have fair neutral olive skin, and the mattes in here look so good. They are just lovely. I tend to reach into other palettes for the shimmers Natasha Denona shimmers this year have not been my favorite. They're much more impressive shimmers elsewhere, but I've really liked her mattes, and the shades of these brown mattes in particular are incredible. So I used this a lot this year, but in the last like month, it's been dethroned by this YSL Overbrun Quad 710. This quad, people, oh my goodness. Here's the deal. These two mattes are like the best browns ever. Yeah, I have fair neutral olive skin and I can't even tell you. So this one, I'll just use on a normal eyeshadow brush, put it all over my lid, and it just looks so good. It's like my eyes are softly defined, and it just kind of blends into the rest of my skin tone in a way that just looks very flattering. This is amazing as a liner. I tried during swatches to pick this up on a fluffy brush, and it did not work. It was almost like, I don't know, gritty or piecey or something, but you pick this up on a liner brush and it is phenomenal. These two can go on and in like less than 30 seconds, you have a perfect matte look. This is a satin and it's fine. I haven't used it too much yet. This one, it's fine. I think it's better on its own as opposed to over a shimmer primer. It's just, there are so many more impressive shimmers in my collection than this one. I swatched in store and thought, oh yeah, that'll be nice. You know, a little subtle but really pretty. It almost starts to look a little sawdusty when it's over a shimmer primer like NYX Glitter Glue. So I think it's best when it has that sort of scattered effect on its own. Like if you just do these two mattes and then tap this over it, I think that's going to be the best. But honestly, I find myself using these two mattes and then reaching for a shimmer on top. And I don't care that this is ridiculously expensive because the color of these, how good they look, it's just amazing. However, I will say that on my skin tone, this shade is so pigmented that I cannot use it to blend out. I have gone a couple of times into my Natasha Denona Golden for a lighter shade to blend things out because this is so pigmented that it looks too dark if I'm trying to blend it out on me. So that is something. I wish that this had an even lighter matte shade, but this has just been phenomenal. So these two are my favorite brown mattes, palettes with my favorite brown mattes that I dig into all the time. Now is the time for an amazing category of spicy neutrals. Okay. The first one, so it's the lowest in the ranking here, is the Mountain Trail palette by Sydney Grace. If you have olive in your skin tone at all, then you might want to check this out. You might want to check out olives in general because olive tones, when you have olive skin tone, it's the neutral you didn't realize you were looking for. And these mattes, even this one that looks a little like mustardy and you're like, oh, that looks scary. No, on olive skin, these are just an amazing neutral. The reason that this is the lowest is these shimmers, especially this one, they just disappear on me. It doesn't matter if I use a shimmer primer or whatever. I have hooded oily eyelids and I use a primer, but they just disappear. It's wild. I haven't really had that before. Not so much the satins. These two are kind of satiny shades that are just fine, but these shimmers, especially this one, just disappears on me. So it's a great palette. If I want olive mattes, I'm almost guaranteed to reach for this palette. But again, I reach for other things for the shimmers. Next is this Nomad palette. I love this thing. I love this. It's the Abu Dhabi 6-pan travel palette. I've used this traveling. I love this. I love this. I dig into these two mattes all the time. They are so flattering. I'll use this one as a liner. If I use this one as a liner on my lower lash, this matte makes me look a little sick. Not if it's on the upper lash, but if it's on the lower lash, it does. And these two shimmers are perfectly fine. They're good shimmers. So this is an amazing travel palette. It's a great kind of additional supplementary palette as well, especially for these two mattes. I like it a lot. It's not my dog just is being funny. It's not my favorite matte formula in the world, but I really like it. It works well. These tones are great. I love it. Next, ooh, the Nomad New Zealand Stargazer palette. And you may say, like, Sam, this is not a neutral palette. Spicy neutral, people. And it is in a lot of ways, because on my skin tone, like a lot of these purples and kind of the rosier shades, like this does not look nearly as scary when it's on your eyes. A lot of these pull quite neutral on me. These are too iridescent, but honestly, one of the reasons this went into the spicy neutral palette, these multi-chromes. Oh my goodness. So you're seeing bright pink. And if I move it, you can see kind of some gold and some other kind of undefinable colors almost going olive. They almost go olive. I get some looks when I use these and kind of the more neutral mattes. I get some looks that I swear they almost look olive on the eye, and there'll be a flash of like some pink or purple that you just can't quite define, or even gold, and it just looks a little shiny. But these two are like these spicy neutral multi-chrome shades, and they go well with each other. Most multi-chromes don't really pair well, but these do. Yeah, so I really like this palette a lot. I don't tend to use kind of like this purple, the blue that much, because if I want a blue look, I go to my Charlotte Tilbury. But yeah, these two are just surprising and beautiful, and I've worn it to work. It is a little spicy, but it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. This was my first palette from Nomad, and it started the love affair, and I love it. And finally, the winner of the spicy neutral category, the Nomad Berlin Underground 10-year anniversary palette. This palette, people, first of all, the quality of these shimmers is incredible, okay? It's incredible. The mattes are not nearly as scary as they look. I do tend to use just, these three mattes for the most part. I have used all of them. But the shimmers, this is probably my favorite champagne shade in my entire collection. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is an amazing blackened gold shade. It doesn't quite go to olive. It does kind of maintain that blackened gold feel without going into green. Although if you put it over here, it really kind of pops on the green side. We have kind of these like a gunmetal shade. This, both of these are silvers. This is a lot more cool tone and darker than you think. This is not nearly as purple. These two are very similar shades. You can get warmer looks, you can get cooler looks. They're all spicy neutrals. No matter what you do here, you're gonna get a spicy neutral look. The quality is amazing. The colors are beautiful. If you're somebody who needs to be able to wear this to work, or wants something that is pretty neutral but just has a little something special, this palette, oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite palettes of this entire year. I love it. I love it. All right, I only have one entry in this next palette, or in this next category. Let's look at the best rainbow palette. Here we go. This is another Nomad palette this is the Witch City Salem. It was their Halloween palette from this year. Yeah, this is my only rainbow palette. It's a little, it's vibrant, but it's not like as primary color type as you might expect from some rainbow palettes. I really like this. This one surprised me. I thought it was going to be more pink, but it really is like this dark brown with like a hint of pink. It's a very interesting shade. I've liked everything from this palette except for this shade right here. I was so excited to have a red shimmer in my collection. And this is more of a satin. All of the rest of them are more sparkly. This is more of a satin, and it creases on me like you would not believe. And I don't normally have creasing with any of the Nomad palettes. And this, it doesn't matter if I use NYX glitter glue or something like that. This red shade just is not oily, hooded eye friendly. But everything else, you know, this is an amazing purple. It really is. You can use this as a liner. This is this great kind of Bordeaux color. If you have green eyes, this is amazing. You know, and this is not like a crazy purple shimmer. You can use this all the time. This is really not as orange as it seems. It just looks a little crazy because it's next to this neon orange shimmer. This looks orange in the pan. Really, it's just almost a transparent topper that is very shiny. And so this right here is one of the most interesting, impressive olive matte shades in my collection. It does stain. It can stain a little bit, but this is just an amazing color right here. So this is a great palette. It really is. And now we have the winner of my favorite cool tone palette of the year, Amy Loves from Adept. This palette, okay, so I've already talked about my Charlotte Tilbury Blue palette, which of course is cool toned and I love that. But I think of that one as like, that's monochromatic, that's blue. Whereas this is really cool tone. It has a range of cool tones. It has kind of cool tone grays, cool tone blues, cool tone browns. It has multi-chromes. It has two different types of silvers. And this is like purple with a gold reflect. This is an indefinable kind of bluish silvery rainbow shade. It's called lavender. It's not lavender. These are kind of subtle but perfectly nice kind of pinky purpley shimmers. This looks orange in the pan. It's really like a white satiny shade. This is beautiful. This is not nearly as scary. It was my first holographic shade. This one is kind of scary. It's more like PC. You definitely I need like NYX glitter glue under all of these. It's not too much of a big deal except for this one, which is PC and stains immediately. And this one, which is so beautiful with that kind of light purple that shifts to, it has a gold reflect. This one will crease on me. I have hooded oily eyelids, and if I use NYX glitter glue and then you just use a tiny bit of this, you know, I can't build up this shade. I just do a little bit on top. I still get the amazing effect. I just have to be a little careful with this shade. That solves that problem. So this is perfectly usable even for those of us with hooded oily eyelids. It's beautiful. It's cool tone. It's amazing. All the shades work with all the other shades. Like I've never gotten a bad look. Like I wouldn't have been able to, I combined these two, inner part of the eyelid, outer part of the eyelid, and it just worked beautifully. Like no matter what combination I come up with, it's great. One thing I will say is that I often pull into a brown matte palette like my Natasha Denona Golden palette for like to blend out so that I don't end up looking like I might have a black eye. But this is amazing. I did do a little DIY. This comes in like this awful scratchy PC craft glitter that will just like spread throughout your home. So I took a little painting varnish and put it on top to seal it in. It's still shiny, it's still amazing, but now it's softer to the touch, no glitter comes off, and I love this palette so much. All right, now I think we're gonna get to the part of the ranking that I think most people are most interested in. This is the everyday, work appropriate, kind of neutral, pretty eye look. Okay, that's this category. This was my first ever big eyeshadow palette, Tarte Maneater from a couple years ago. I barely use it now, but I used kind of these two shades all the time when I first got it, and then topped it off with kind of a gold shimmer These shimmers are still impressive. They're great. I like them. I just don't tend to use this palette as much. I think it's gotten a little bit hard pan with the mattes. But this is still, this palette just makes me happy. It does. I never would want to use this shade or really this green too much. But, you know, it has the depth. It has the light. It has a bunch of these everyday shades. Top it with some version of gold or champagne or rosiness and you're good. It has, like you can use this as a liner, which is great for green eyes. So this was a great palette. I hope that Tarte does more. It's just a few years old now, so I haven't really been using it. Next, we have MAC. This was the Dose of Color, or sorry, the Connect in Color, and it's their warm one. This is one of my favorite color stories in my collection because like the Amy Loves palette, you can use any shade with any other shade and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. The reason this is a little bit lower is I've had this for like half a year and the mattes, which started off being kind of like nice and powdery and easy to blend, are now kind of hard pan and I don't know why. I didn't use this for like a month and I came back to it and it was really hard to pick up the mattes. The shimmers here they're lovely, they're fine, they're very subtle. They're all more like satins. And so I would find myself kind of reaching for the mattes and then the shimmers were gorgeous. Like, and this looks like you should be afraid of it because it's red. No, do yourself a favor sometime. Do a brown eyeshadow look and then just do a little pop of red, either red matte, red shimmer. You don't have to build it up, just a teeny tiny bit in the outer corner and see how it changes things. It's not even gonna look red. It's just gonna add something like a great bit of like warmth and something special and a little bit more dimension to your look. So anyway, I love this. I love the overall color story. I think is one of the best in my collection. But the quality, I need this to last more than 6 months. And so I don't know what to do with this. So yeah. And next we have this NARS eyeshadow. It's the Afterglow Tempting one. And keep an eye out for this one because I got this for 50% off in the spring. It was on sale during Black Friday as well. And so I bet in the new year, if it's still around, this will be on sale. This is pretty great quality. I like it a lot. I love these 3 shimmers. These mattes look great. I would like if there were a lighter matte that I could use to blend things out. But again, I can just reach into my trusty brown palette for that. This shade is a little bit like Fembot. These 2 are light, sparkly toppers. I don't like this shade at all. And I think it's this one. These are kind of these weird satins, but they're not good satins. But still, you can get some really great, pretty everyday looks with this. It's great for travel. It's fairly sturdy. This one has that duochrome scent, so you can get something special out of it. You can go warmer, you can go cooler. You have a great eyeliner color in it, especially, you know, I have green eyes, so purples and reds and things just tend to really look great on me, at least. Yeah, this is a good palette. It's not my absolute favorite for all the reasons that I've said, but you can get some really good looks out of it. And next, okay, this is hard. This is hard. So now we have the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I like this palette. I think this was either my first or my second. I think this was my first Natasha Denona palette ever. The tones of these mattes are great. They're really great. And some of these shimmers are nice. They're more on the subtle side, but they're perfectly fine, perfectly pretty. I like them, but I like the mattes more. This shade, I've dug into this palette just for this shade multiple times. These are great. These are a little bit more gray. These are more brown. Yeah, it's a great palette. But again, if I use this, I'm almost always going to reach into another palette for shimmers. And next, Another Natasha Denona. She has some really great everyday palettes. This is the Retro palette. I love this. Can we just have a second to say how pretty this is? We've got these kind of rosy shades. This is an amazing purple liner. This is an amazing purple liner. A great light shade for blending things out. You can tell I use these all the time. This one is sort of a grayer tone, but it still has some mauve in it, kind of that dusty mauve shade. So pretty and flattering on the eye. Yeah, these are pretty great. And the shimmers are fine, but once again, I usually dip into something else for a shimmer. So these are great. These are work appropriate. These are everyday. If you have green eyes, you're gonna love every single shade here. And you know what? Not everybody loves a really intense shimmer. So this might be perfect for you. You can use these shimmers without any sort of glitter glue, which is nice. So yeah, it's great. The tones in here are amazing, especially if you have green eyes. It just makes me happy to look at. Like, I really love this palette. I especially go into these shades all the time, and then this is a liner. That's a pretty common thing for me. I have found a few palettes this year that are so incredible that I just find myself not reaching for this as much, even though I really do love the tones. And next, I needed a nude. This is second place in this category of kind of everyday neutrals. And again, it's the mattes. These mattes have such a pretty tone. So I'm a fair neutral olive and I have green eyes. And these kind of barely rosy colors are so pretty. They're so pretty that, you know, there's a shade light enough to blend things out. These are great as all over the lid colors. This is great as a liner. This is the first palette I ever had where I was like, oh, I can do an all, like just an all matte look. And actually, I like an all matte look from this palette compared to, you know, anything else. This shade Mia, it's fine. It's just a transparent topper. And for some reason, she chose this as part of like the huge eyeshadow duo that she released for holiday this year. So I already have that shade, it's fine. I think Muse might be the prettiest in this palette. I originally got it because I swatched Delilah and I thought that was beautiful, but now that I have it, I think Muse is the best. These are great. Once again, the mattes are so pretty. The tones, Natasha Denona can come up with amazing tones that just look so flattering on the eyes. You know, it's something that just defines your eyes subtly while, you know, making the whites of your eyes look whiter and the green of my eyes anyway look greener. It's very pretty. But once again, it's not, it doesn't reach number one because this is not an all-in-one palette for me, really. Like, I'm fine to use these shimmers. I think they're fine. It's just I have so many better shimmers in my collection that I don't know. If I'm going for a more subtle look, it's fine, but there's a reason this is number 2 and not number 1. And now we're here. Number one of the everyday neutral pretty eyeshadow palettes of the year. Here we are. This is the Pink Love eyeshadow palette from Charlotte Tilbury this year. I've already talked about how much I loved the blue palette, but this one, the pink palette, was one that I was originally not going to get. But I got it because I got it in stores, and it just, they didn't have all the colors in stores, but they had this one, and I was actually, you know, impressed with it and decided to get it. I love this. This is an all-in-one palette. The mattes are so good. I can use this all over the lid. I can use it to blend it out. It looks scary and neon. It's not. This is amazing as a liner shade. It makes the green in my eyes look greener, the white in my eyes look whiter. It's so good. This is great for outer corner. This is great for my upper lid. I don't use this for my lower lid because it can just go that little extra bit to make me look a little sick. But it's very pretty on the upper lid. but these are great everywhere. I get just the prettiest look with these. And here we once again have these, is it these two? Is it this one as well? Yeah, I think these two are the satins. I know this one's a satin and this one's a satin. They are so pretty. They are so pretty. I think, okay, in the blue palette, it has satins, and this white satin is more stunning, more reflective than this one. This is more subtle. These satins are incredible. These are too, but this takes the cake, whereas this is a close second. I use all the mattes. I use this on like the inner corner and the inner part of the lid. I use this on the outer part, and then I take this Diamond Dimension shade, which is phenomenal and so sparkly, just like the one in the blue palette, and I put this all over. I can't tell you how many days I wore this to work this year. I can't tell you how many like days when I just wanted my makeup to look good and for me to look pretty, you know, like I wanted my makeup to look pretty. This is what I reached for, because without fail, I will get a look that is just pretty and stunning and looks good on me and never lets me down. I will admit that I think it's this shade, which is more of a metallic, that I don't think I've ever reached into that. Because once I found this eye look where it's like the mattes, the satins, and then the Diamond Dimension on top, I just like, I can't bring myself to look like, I think this is more of a like PC metallic one. I love the other shades so much, and I just want to do that look every single time. So it's not the most versatile that I'm getting, 10 different looks out of one palette, but this is just, it's so good. Okay, it's so good. So this is number one in the category of everyday pretty neutrals. I just love it. So good. All right, let's get into C Beauty now. Okay, I have some really great C Beauty palettes this year. I think in last place is this girl called Quad. And it's not because it's bad, it's just because the others are so incredibly good. This is another one kind of like the Amy Loves palette, where I have to be careful. I have to use NYX glitter glue, and I have to use a very light hand with this. Now, it's gorgeous. It's pretty. You can get amazing looks out of it. It can be a lot more subtle, actually, than it looks like in the pan, because like this goes from almost like Kelly green to like a gray blue. And this almost has some silver and like steel gray or steel gray blue in it. And like this looks like it's chartreuse, but it also, these are very interesting, complex multi-chrome shades. I really like them. It's just the formula is not as oily hooded eye friendly. That's the only reason that it's lower. And then to that end, I also have the Girl Cult Ambition palette. This is an all shimmer palette as well. It's gorgeous. Okay, this shade is so pretty. It's prettier than it has any right to be. It's amazing. And there's some really good colors in here. This is kind of like this interesting peachy shade. This one is blindingly bright. It doesn't have to be as orange as it looks in the pan, but it is blinding. We have just some very, very pretty colors here. This is a purple, so pale it almost looks silvery white. So I don't have another color like that in my collection. Yeah, these are great. These are absolutely great, but similar to this, there are a couple shades in here that I have to be really careful with. I have to use NYX glitter glue, and I have to use a tiny amount. I can't build it up. There are some formulas out there where it's foolproof. You use some NYX glitter glue and then it doesn't matter how much you put on top, everything's going to be okay. These are just a little fussier. I can still get them to work and they look fine on, hooded, oily eyelids, but I just have to be a little careful. And that's the only reason why these are a little bit lower. And then we have, okay, this is hard. This is hard. We're getting into some really, really good palettes here. This is 52, the Girl Cult Fire palette. And it's kind of breaking my heart to make it seem like this is lower, because this is so good, all right? These two mattes are so pretty. You might look at this and be like, red, that's scary. It's sort of this terracotta shade. You put it all over the lid, or you put it just in the outer corner. It's so amazing. It's beautiful. It looks so pretty. It blends out really well. And this brown shade, it blends out so well. I've used this all over my lid. I've used it to blend out other colors. Remember that YSL palette that has a really nice shade kind of like this? That one is too pigmented and kind of like powdery. And even though it's amazing, that one is great for all over the lid. This one you can still use to blend out. So I love that. And this is a beautiful eyeliner. It's sort of a cream shade, and it has a little bit of red in it that I don't see at all. I think that's more for decoration on top. I really like that. This is a perfectly fine shimmer. It's a multi-chrome. It's sort of this undefinable pinky, goldy shade that in the pan looks like it would go green, but it really doesn't go green on my eyes. I like it. It's just not nearly as stunning. And that's why this palette is low. These three shades are bomb. They are so good, like so good. But this shade is not nearly as spectacular. Like, these are spectacular. You just have to be careful with them. This is just not as spectacular on me. I've seen it on other people with slightly deeper skin tones that looked amazing, but I'm super pale and olive, and so for some reason this one just doesn't quite do it for me. But then we get to this one. This is the Cheery Up Floating Life palette. It was a Freya collaboration. This is one that I got on the recommendation of Ella Kinkley. This was her favorite #1 eyeshadow of the year last year, and it's great. The mattes in here are incredible. This is another palette where I don't have to reach into any other palette. I have plenty of shades that are light enough. I have plenty of shades that are dark enough. I have things in between. All of these shades look amazing on green eyes. They also look good on my olive skin. It's just gorgeous. There are a couple formulas here that are a little more challenging for hooded oily lids. First of all, this one. This is so beautiful, but on my hooded oily lids, this red just disappears. Like, I cannot get it to stick to my lid. It just disappears, and what's left over creases terribly. Like, I've tried this a couple times, and remember, I had issues with the Nomad Witch City Salem red as well. Like, please, if you know good red shimmers that work with hooded oily lids, please let me know. But this one is a cream, and it does not work at all on me. This one is one of the most interesting shades of my collection. It's beautiful. To me, it looks like if you're on the beach and you look out and you see little, those edges of the waves that are reflecting in sunlight, that's how this looks. It's like you have the ocean, the glinting ocean reflecting off of your eyes. However, there are these almost like large triangular particles in it. And if you kind of build this shade up, that's kind of what gives it like the edge of the waves in the ridges. I think you definitely have to use NYX glitter glue, and you have to be careful taking it off, and just be careful with it. Like, this is one more than any of the others that I'm like, I'm a little afraid of that shade. But it does adhere well, and it doesn't, those chunks like don't drop out or anything. It's just like these larger, almost angled glitter particles. It's weird, but this is a beautiful palette. It's just Cheery Up has better for me. And this is very interesting looks, very flattering. But these two shades in particular are just a little bit more difficult. This one doesn't work for me at all. This one does work and has an effect unlike anything in my collection. I just need to be careful with it. And then, oh, this is so difficult. These next three could be in any order. Okay, here is this Haggard Captive of Night palette, and it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Okay, when it came, all three of these were shattered and I had to press them back in. Oh wait, this one. And I did that, that was fine. This is one of my favorite palettes in my entire collection for these two shades. These two up here are some of the best quiet luxury shimmers that I have ever found. If you want something that says special, that says I have something extra, something special here. Like, I can't even explain how amazing these are. This is my favorite olive shade in my entire collection. It's a silvery olive, sort of a deep silvery olive. You put this all over your lid, put on an olive eyeliner, and you're good to go. Like, this is so good. If you remember, I was talking about the Sydney Grace palette. So like, I'll sometimes use the mattes in the Sydney Grace Mountain Trail palette with this. Or I'll use like the Natasha Denona mattes or something like that, which are brown, but then use this. This is unbelievably gorgeous. This is like this cool tone, silvery olive. It's so pretty. You have to use it with NYX Glitter Glue. Without it, it doesn't look quite the same. With it, it looks like this foil mirrored type finish. It's beautiful. This is an amazing black and gold. It is so pretty. It is so, it's deeper and more subtle and more real and more impressive than any other gold in my collection. And I found this really interesting because I also got this on Ella Kinkley's recommendation. It was one of her favorite palettes last year. And she says this one is a black and gold for her. I don't know if it's just our, I don't know, skin tone undertones or what, but this is a silver olive. This is a black and gold for me. And it's a little bit of a deeper gold in it. It doesn't quite have hints of green, but it almost does. It almost does. And it is, these two are quiet luxury shades. If you're like, I want something that looks incredible, that looks subtle, that looks like money and power, and that I know what I'm doing, and I'm not playing around in kid makeup, I've got, my life put together. That's what those two shades do for me. They are phenomenal. They are gorgeous. And then we've got number 2 in my Sea Beauty eyeshadow palette. This is number 50 from Girl Cult. I think they call it white paper. The mattes are quite gray, but they almost have this tiniest hint of olive. And this shimmer, you put NYX Glitter Glue on, you put this over it, this is like you have a disco ball on your eye. This is one of the most brilliant shimmers ever. It doesn't, I don't have any problems with creasing or anything. It has enough of a warm tone to look good on me. There's some kind of silvery shades that look bad. They look bad on me. With my skin tone, they make me look sick unless they're just in one tiny place. But this can be all over the lid. It looks so flattering. This does work for me as a liner. This is an amazing, brightening shade. And that's one reason, that's why in the ranking, this is lower because the formula is worse. This is a little lower because this shimmer is not nearly as blinding. This one is beyond fantastic. This is incredible. And you can get some of these on Amazon, even if you're in the US. I know with Sea Beauty stuff, we've got Mango Madness issues going on, and you can get this on Amazon. It is so pretty. It is so, 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 so pretty. And then number one for Sea Beauty eyeshadow palettes of the year. Are you ready? Cheery up, dear. This palette, everybody, oh my goodness, this is This is so pretty. It's so pretty and the quality is impeccable. The quality is just so good. I can't even, oh, I mean, the formula of the shimmers here are different than in either Floating Life or the Ambition palette. I do use NYX glitter glue with these, and it's incredible. This shade right here is the prettiest white shimmer shade. It is blinding. It is beautiful. It is so good. I love it. And here I have some of the pinky tones that are very pretty, very flattering. Here we get a little bit more into brown tones, and these also are just so flattering. All of these are good. This is an iridescent shade, which we're starting to see more in Western brands, but you know, but it's nice to see it in a palette. These are so pretty, but this is a stunner, and all the mattes look good. This can give me some similar looks to the Charlotte Tilbury 9-pan palette, but it doesn't go quite as deep. And these two shades are cream type shades, and they are awful. I cannot pick them up with a brush. I hoped I could use this as a liner, but I couldn't. These just do not work for me at all. But everything else is so good. All of these mattes, all of these shimmers. And when I tell you that the quality of the mattes and this shimmer in particular is so good to make this like my #1 C Beauty palette, it's so good. It's so special. And the mattes are so opaque that like it actually brightens. It's not like you put a light matte on and it just like disappears back to your lid shade. You know, this is so good. It is so, so, so good. So this is my #1 C Beauty eyeshadow palette of 2025. Singles! We have single shadows of this year. I love this, but I love others more. This is MAC Bougie Paint Pot. And the thing is about these, this is that same fembot type shade. I like it. It doesn't have enough sparkle to make me happy on its own. And it's fine as a base, but I like something else under it. And it's just not what I reach for, but I do like it a lot. And next we have MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So this one will crease on me a little bit. I know a lot of people can use this as an eyeshadow primer. I have such hooded oily eyelids that is not the case for me. So this is great. It puts down a good base and it's very opaque, but just not the perfect solution for me. Then we have another MAC one. I recently got this. I've only worn it a couple times. They call it a chameleon shade, so it's supposed to be a multi-chrome. I can at least see duochrome from it. It's a very pretty warm shade. I like this. It's just not nearly as stunning as my other shadows. I've become completely spoiled by my single shadows from brands like Clionadh. And so this is good. This is fine. It's just not good enough. Then we have this one. This is my Cheery Up Single Baked shade. I did a video on this. This is a formula dupe for the Pat McGrath. I have it here for the Pat McGrath special shade here, right here. It's not a shade dupe, but it's a formula dupe for this one. It has the exact same effect. It's amazing. It's a lot cheaper. I have found that it kind of wants to hard pan a little bit. So it started off being so beautiful, and now it does, like, I know it's a baked shade, it's hard already, but like I found that it's harder. It was so easy in the beginning to get the formula up, and now it's more difficult. So I'm going to keep working with it, and I'll let you know if I can figure it out. But it is so beautiful for like a neutral everyday look. Like, for the first few weeks, this was going to be my favorite eyeshadow of the entire year, and that has kind of back down a little bit. So to be continued on this one. And next, okay, so this is ranked within a couple of the next ones that I'll show you, but REM Fembot, this is so pretty. This is so pretty. It looks so good. I had one of my best eye looks of the entire year with this. It looks good on its own. It looks good over mattes. It looks good over Bougie. Bougie is basically the same thing, but just kind of a deeper, more intense base. They look so good together. And it's just, oh, this is an amazing wet look shadow. I love it. And now let's get into some of the gold. All right. Okay, so I have some Clionadh. These are all Clionadh single eyeshadows, and they are some of the most brilliant, most amazing eyeshadows of my entire collection. These two in particular, we have Bronze Fountain and Sunbeam. And I don't know if you can pick up some of the shifts on the camera when I do this. These are two of my favorite shadows in my entire collection. This looks pink in the pan. It's not. It looks like a sunbeam on your eyes. It is so glinting, so reflective, so amazing. Bronze Fountain is an amazing spicy neutral one and done shade. It's beautiful. It's special. I love it. And I forgot in my rankings here. This is a Nomad Multi-Chrome that is very pretty as well. So I think that I would put so we have this MAC one, then I maybe have this one just because it's not as much of an everyday shade. Then I would do Cheery Up, and then these three at the top, but these two went out. These two went out because they're so phenomenal. These four right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are the Clionadh pastel shades. It's in a collection of 4. I don't like the purple one. It's the only Clionadh shade I don't like. These are fine. They're perfectly fine. That's a good spicy neutral shade. But it's just, these are so incredible. These are amazing iridescent shades. These are good peach shades, and these can all be special too, but I'm just telling you, these two, Sunbeam and Bronze Fountain, are so gorgeous. I want to get Grisaille because it's like Bronze Fountain except a little bit more red with a cool tone shift to it. So yeah, these are stunning. If you're, going through mainstream eyeshadow and you're like, man, nothing's really all that great, what am I even doing? You can try Fembot. And these two from Clionadh, they're just so good. They're so good. They are so pretty. Where you just want to walk past a mirror and then look at your eyes in surprise. I remember when I swatched this one, I just stared at my arm for a while because I didn't know eyeshadow could be like that. It's so stunning. It is so absolutely stunning. So there you go. Now, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be harsh. So I have Sunbeam. I have Bronze Fountain. Let's do some of the best here. We've got the YSL Quad, okay? We have the Charlotte Tilbury 9-pan palette. We have the Amy Loves Adept palette. We have the Cheery Up Deer palette. The Nomad Berlin Underground Spicy Neutral palette. So these are the best of the best for the year. I can recommend all of these. I can recommend every single one. So Clionadh, Bronze Fountain, and Sunbeam, depending on your coloring and your undertone, there might be others, but if you get the ones with these same formulas on the website, you'll like it. YSL, these brown mattes are phenomenal. Charlotte Tilbury, this pink 9-pan it's so pretty. It is pretty everyday makeup. It's put together, it's professional, but it's still gorgeous. Cool tone, going with Amy Loves. Just be a little careful with the formulas if you have hooded eyes. Nomad, Berlin Underground, so pretty. And if you want Sea Beauty, which by the way is way cheaper, if you want a light pretty palette with a lot of kind of pinky browns and whites, go with Deer. If you want the quiet luxury, like here's what I'm talking about, right? These shades are complex. Some of the Clionadh ones can tend toward neon, which is why you might be a little hesitant. I mean, not all of them, and it's in a subtle reflective way. But if there were an eyeshadow palette that had the YSL mattes and then the Haggard shimmers, I mean, you'd rule the world, wouldn't you? Like, that's just too good. Too good to ask for. So I'm happy that I can dig into multiple palettes at the same time because, wow. So yeah, if I had to recommend something, if you want the most spectacular shimmers of your life, Clionadh singles. If you want a good matte everyday look that is just on point and solid and you don't ever want to deal with anything else and multiple eyeshadow palettes or whatever, investing in a YSL quad, awesome. If you want something that is pretty and pink without being bubblegum pink and just looks amazing and put together, and you can wear it to work, you can wear it on a date, you can wear it whenever, you don't have to fuss with it, you don't have to use NYX glitter glue, but you can. This one, the Charlotte Tilbury Eye Trends. If you want some impressive multi-chromes and you want cool tones, I'd check out Amy Loves by Adept. If you want the spicy neutrals, look at Nomad, they're Berlin Underground. And Sea Beauty, it's all about the color story really, but cheery up girl called Haggard, you won't be disappointed. These are my favorites of 2025. What do you think? What are your favorites? Do you agree with these? Do you like them? Let me know, because it's been a really fun year. This is my first year really getting into eyeshadow. There are plenty of brands I haven't tried yet, but wow, I've had a lot of fun with this. I hope you have too, and I hope that maybe I've been able to recommend something that will help you with your hooded oily eyelids. NYX Glitter Glue solves a multitude of issues, also the NARS eyeshadow primer, but I'll talk about those in another video. So anyway, this has been fun, and let me know what you think.